you.
And we are an intercultural family living in Seoul, South Korea.
Whenever we ask you guys for questions, so many people ask us, how can we live in Korea?
Yeah, a lot of people are like, well, I love Korea. How can I live long-term in Korea? So there's things like student visas, people come as teachers, there's like a working holiday visa. But I think a lot of people are interested in like, how can you live long-term in Korea without marrying a Korean?
This leads to the question.
Can I, as a foreigner, as a non-Korean, start a business in Korea? And the answer is...
Yes, you can.
yes, you can. In the past, this has been quite hard to do, and we've had friends try this and not be able to. We've had other friends do it, but it's been a really long, difficult process. These days, there's a lot more information and services to help people. There's people who live long-term in Korea already, but maybe they work for a company, work for another company, and they want to transition to having their own company in Korea. There are people who don't live in Korea, but want to have a life in Korea and see this as a way of doing that.
There are so many benefits living in Korea, so that's why so many people want to live in Korea.
In this video, we're going to give you some actual resources if you are starting to think about this or if you've started the process already. Recently, the Seoul Metropolitan Government has set up a support center called
investseoulcenter.
So if you have any interest in starting a business in Korea, or you want to invest in Korean companies, or you want to move your business to Korea, this is the best place to go to start with for information. There are support programs for international investors, international startups, and they cooperate with both private and public organizations. Of course, a lot of investors might be looking towards Korea to invest, to find something to invest in. Korean culture is getting more and more popular. Besides from K-pop and a certain boy group,
BTS.
there is also, of course, technology, Korean technology, and also beauty as well, beauty products. There is this really big push to help international entrepreneurs to start, grow, and succeed in Seoul. So you might be wondering, do you have to do your business in Seoul, or can you do it anywhere else in Korea?
Seoul is where everything is happening. That's why I'm here.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why you're here with your business
Yes.
as well. So, I mean, Korea has so many great things everywhere, but for business, I think Seoul is probably the best place to start. Okay, so say you have this big business idea. What is it?
Something to do with BTS.
Well, BTS, your business idea just can't be BTS. But we do know that any company or organization that does anything with BTS, like, boom, just explodes like that.
And sold out.
So maybe that's like further down the track of like collabing with BTS. But you can let us know in the comment section, do you have a business idea? Like, what is your business idea? Is there something you'd like to do in Korea? Let us know down below. So Hugh has his own business here, but you are Korean.
Yes, but I work with so many foreigners.
You do, but your actual business is Korean.
Yes.
And I can do things for your business. So like some of my projects I can do through your business, but maybe sometime in the future I want to have my own company and I want to be CEO. I want to be the boss. This service is kind of the things I'll be looking for. Like I'll be needing this type of help from this service, right?
And these things, even though I'm doing some business, my own business, it's hard to explain and help.
Yeah, and it's different. It's different for somebody that is not Korean and then somebody that is Korean.
Yes.
Going back to Invest Seoul Center, one of the first things you can do is get some consulting. And this is all very new. Like this center opened like literally this year. This is open to any foreigner that is looking to start a business in Korea. And this consulting is offered in languages English, Chinese, Mongolian, Russian, and of course Korean. So being able to consult with someone will mean you have a better idea of what you want to do is possible and like the pathway of like, how do you do this? When you first look at all the things about starting a business, it can be really overwhelming, right?
Yeah, even in Korean, it's really overwhelming. I think for anyone who wants to start their own business in Korea, they need to know about Korean culture and languages.
I think that's really important.
You have more advantage if you know how things work
in Korea. Right? Like if you know how society is, how things are done, you're gonna have way more of an advantage.
Oh, with the cultures.
Culture, so important.
Yeah.
So you may already know how to speak some Korean, but do you know how to speak business Korean? Do you know how to speak business Korean?
Little bit.
A little bit now, so even as a Korean, you're slowly getting there. I definitely cannot speak any business Korean. My Korean is best aimed at small children. I can't go into a board meeting or a meeting and just be like, guli 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 jem 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 guli guli jem jem.
They will be good. They might think
They
you
would
are very
think
cute.
there's something wrong. Oh,
Very innocent.
maybe I could just get away with aegyo. So Invest Seoul Center has business Korean courses to help you with that. There is basic, beginners 1, beginners 2, and intermediate. So yeah, maybe you need to do that one.
It might help.
That might help. You might have also heard of KIP, which is Korean Immigration Integration Program. This is a program for immigrants that need help with language, culture, and adapting to Korean society. So if you are feeling more confident with your business Korean, you can also go to a business startup school. And this is open to any foreigners that are interested in starting or running a business in Korea. And they really go through all the nitty-gritty stuff. Like I'm looking at this and it's like establishing and operating a business, including tax, labor, intellectual property, the Immigration Control Act, regulations, real estate practices, business plan.
Wow, very interesting.
But things you need to know. Going back to talking about Korean culture and society, networking is a really important part of Korean businesses. I'm sure it's like important everywhere with business networking, but in Korea, it is so important, right?
Really important.
You've spent probably 6 years networking to get where you are now, from like literally nothing to having your own office and employees, right?
Yes, 6 years.
I'm talking to people. This is like it's not something I can do. But Invest Seoul Center actually provides seminars about this and networking events to help you do this. They also give you knowledge about visas and what visas you need. I mean, this is the type of question we get a lot, like what visa can I have to come to Korea, to live in Korea? And everybody's situation is different in regards to visas. So we can't give exact advice about this, but luckily there's services that can give you advice about this. On their website as well, they have a consulting casebook, and I'm going to bring up something about that in regards to visas. So this is consulting casebook for foreign startups. Depending on their visa status, they may be able to set up a business immediately. Otherwise, they must receive investment funds from abroad, foreign direct investment, or they may be recognized for a technology. As you can see, it still depends. That was like 3 different replies to that question. So not something we can give advice on because everybody's situation is different, but you can go and check that out and see what is applicable to you.
So before you decide to live in Korea for a long time, just live a little bit and then you decide whether you love to live here or not.
Yeah, I think sometimes people can have like a really fantasy idea that might not be like reality, but if when you can, when you are able to, come to Korea for a little bit and see whether this is somewhere that you want to settle down. So as we mentioned, these days there's a really big push to help foreign entrepreneurs in Korea. And these days there's things like they help cover some of your living expenses costs. And the Invest Seoul Center offers free incubation office space and support programs for foreign startups. They really want to encourage people to do this and be sustainable long term. Things like business coaching, mentoring,
networking.
All these things are offered now. I think starting any business is hard, even starting in your own country, right?
It's really difficult.
Even in your own country, it's hard. So starting in another country where it's not your country, it's not your language, that's going to be extra hard.
At least there's more support for it now.
In other videos, we can talk about different aspects of living in Korea and different ways that you can come to Korea when everything's open again. But we thought this was a good opportunity to talk about this topic, and also because this new center has opened in Seoul. Of course, all links down below in the description box. Do you have a business idea, or hypothetically, what type of business would you want to do, whether it's in your own country or in Korea? You can let us know down in the comment section, and I will try not to steal your business ideas. I swear this is not just a ploy to get your business ideas.
Thank you for watching our video.
Please subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already and you would like to do that. You can check out our social media and more about our life in Korea, and you can check out the blog and comics that are on there. And I hope this video is helpful for people that are, if you are a young entrepreneur, actually you don't need to be young, anybody that has some amazing business ideas and the drive to do it. I hope it helps.
And someone who live in Korea or who are planning to
Come to Korea
for business and other ideas.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
And
you
we
can
will
do
see
it.
you later. Bye bye.